And now we have Amanda here with a sneak peek exclusive interview for the One Year With from the 2021 Austin Film Festival. Let's hear it, Amanda.
Hey sneak peekers! My name is Amanda Diaz and I'm here at Austin Film Festival 2021 and we're on the red carpet for the One Year With.
President of the United States has issued a state of emergency.
I never said we're all gonna die. Okay, what I said was we all could die. Big difference.
And I kind of want to ask, what was your biggest inspiration for this film?
Biggest inspiration was, sad to say, but the pandemic. And we kind of were sitting there. I was sitting there trying to cope with the anxieties of what was going on in March of 2020. And then I said, let's make a comedy. And and we just kind of were like, it was my way of dealing with what was going on and figuring out what was going on with the world, and that's how I did it, so yeah.
No, amazing way to cope. I think it looks great. So I kind of figure COVID could have been an influence. Going off of that, I was wondering if what challenges y'all faced because of COVID also.
Yeah, there was a lot. We had a very small crew. We were kind of doing it before we got all the guidelines from unions and stuff, and so we were basically talking to other productions and talking to and looking at CDC guidelines and talking to health experts and saying what's the best way to do this, and we ended up quarantining together and trusting each other and having a very limited crew, and it was tough, but it was a lot of fun.
How was it like being a writer, director, and actor?
It was pretty insane. We kind of have a sketch comedy background, and we all will do that. Me, John Michael, and Jeff will pass off hats and stuff, so it was interesting going from that, but we were used to that, but making it on a feature level was a lot crazier because it was more hard on the acting side than it was on the directing side, because I've done that before, but getting to act in it also made it a new wave of challenging. But again, back to making stuff with friends, is I could trust that Jeff was going to get a great shot and that John Michael was going to produce the heck out of it, so yeah.
What is the biggest thing you want the audience to take away from this film?
Biggest thing I want the audience to take away is to, even when things are really, really crazy and hard, it's finding people that you love and care about within those moments. And so the macro of life is constantly really depressing and anxiety-inducing, and I think remembering that it's not always about what's happening all around in the world, but it's about what's happening in your own house or with your own friends and family, so yeah.
So my next question is what's the main thing that drew you to this film?
But for this particular project, I think it was really fun to get to look at the whole pandemic situation with a lens of fun and some levity to an otherwise kind of scary situation, and it was really just fun to get to explore that with these guys and this project, and yeah, so it was really fun.
Yeah, no, I think y'all definitely made the best out of a really bad situation. So my next question is what was the biggest what was the biggest problem with producing this movie because of COVID?
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious most things are obvious. Clearly, we just we had to abide by a lot more restrictions and limitations because of COVID, just to keep people safe on set.
Do you remember your favorite part about filming?
Of filming this?
Yes.
Honestly, I can say whatever I want on this thing.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
my favorite. Okay, great. My favorite part of filming is Chad has to become nude for some certain scenes of this film, and it's a very vulnerable thing. Not his favorite part. My favorite part, and not to be weird, it's not a weird thing.
This is Drew's favorite part.
Stop. What was funny about it was Chad having to be very vulnerable and have this robe and have to cover himself up and be I need you guys to take care of me. I'm naked. This is very hard to do. And maybe just I guess seeing you suffer and it being uncomfortable was kind of funny for me. So that was the highlight. No, the highlight for me was I don't know. What was the highlight?
Do any of y'all have a highlight y'all want to share?
I think seeing Chad be kind of uncomfortable, have to act nude was pretty funny for me. So that was the highlight.
That's a good one.
I just said generally the camp vibe was fun for me. But
the camp vibe was fun.
certain moments Man.
I didn't have any.
Yeah, no, none of it. It was all just I blacked out.
I
for
think
most
making
of it.
this film was very therapeutic in a way of it was during the quarantine and none of us had anything to do really. We didn't have any work. Everything was being frozen. We were able to kind of go back to making stuff how we did in college, honestly, of these sketches that we started out where it would be just the three of us, somebody holding a mic, somebody acting, somebody holding the camera. And it was fun to kind of go back to that and make it in a very pure way of like, hey, we don't have a lot of crew here. It's all very stripped down, but let's trust each other and make something great. And I felt like every day we showed up to set was some form of just trusting each other to do that. So the whole process was very cathartic to be able to do during that time. Yeah.
Yeah, we touched on this, and I said that this was a really like interesting and great way to cope with the whole pandemic. You know.
Yeah. No, it was definitely
It was a
like
coping mechanism.
gave us something good to do and focus on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stamp of approval.
Yeah.
Thank you, Amanda. The One You're With is now available to rent on Amazon Prime Video, if any of y'all want to give it a watch.